Howdy folks, it's Adriel the Hunting Gear Guy. The government just announced that they're going to withdraw Amendment G4 and I got my notes over here, G46 from C21. C21 is supposed to be this handgun freeze and a bunch of other stuff bill that the government was trying to make ban everything bill. They were trying to do this through defining assault-style firearm as anything that's mag-fed, basically. Anything that's mag-fed that could have ever put a 10-round mag in, even if there hadn't been one designed for it, which is kind of odd. And they had included such well-known assault rifles as the SKS with a fixed magazine, and other assault weapons like the M1 Garand were in there, and even something like the SVT-40. These are all World War II firearms here that I'm showing you, assault-style firearms under the Liberals' definition, but they've pulled that bill back, or they pulled that amendment back and left the rest of C21. Bit of a win for anyone who was looking at one of these firearms and wondering if it was going to get banned in the spring. Bit of a loss still, because there's still quite a bit in this bill that's pretty bad. So what's still in the bill? Well, notably, the handgun freeze is still in there. So if you don't have a handgun, you may never will in Canada, depending on who gets in at the next election. So that's still staying in place. That means no buying, no selling from businesses or private individuals, no transferring. You can have your handgun, and that's it. So if you don't have one, tough luck. The next thing that's on there is the red flag laws. We already have red flag laws here in Canada. You can call up the RCMP, file a public safety complaint, and a cop will follow up on it and determine what to do after that. This is more red flags and yellow flags and all kinds of flags on top of that. They're not needed. They're just additional bureaucracy to feed the beast. Speaking of, they also have some new maximum penalties in there that will never get used because our judges don't put max penalties for anything, any of these kinds of crimes. So kind of a moot point there. The air gun ban is still in there, so you're still screwed if you want to shoot airsoft with something that looks like a military firearm. Which, if you ever go to like an airsoft field, that's a lot of them. A lot of guys are like, there's like a fun LARPing kind of a thing, right? Just a fun like paintball kind of a thing, except with like more realistic stuff. If you don't want realistic stuff, you do paintball. If you don't like the realistic stuff, a lot of guys go airsoft because they get all that full realism. They put on like headphones and all this stuff. It's just harmless, good harmless fun. But they're banning them because every once in a while someone uses an airsoft pistol to rob someone, and the cops shoot them, and they're like, oh well, there was just an airsoft gun. But I don't know. Fuck around and find out. Now, a couple of the more ominous bits in C21 that are still in there that could like fuck us hard. The mag limit that's coming could be terrible, and I'll show you how in two of the firearms that I just had here. The mag limit is for 5 rounds in a long rifle, which, oh, okay, well, that's what we had before, kind of. But the new regulation, public safety said the magazines will have to be modified so they can never have more than 5 rounds in them. Now, something like this SKS, this is a 10-round magazine, but here in Canada, these are all legally limited. So on the bottom here, you see that kind of circle. What that is on the inside, there's a pin right here. So it's been permanently modified. To take that pin out would be breaking the law and breaking that regulation, but never being able to return it to full capacity. Well, in my opinion, what that means is chopping the body of the mag down to 5 rounds, permanently modifying the body. That's what I think it means. Now, they also didn't say semi-automatic rifles. They just said long guns. There are rimfire long guns, there's shotgun long guns, there's semi-automatic centerfire long guns, there's non-semi-automatic centerfire long guns. Lee Enfields have 10-round magazines. They're bolt action. Do we have to limit those? According to the, what's been said so far, yes, until they say otherwise. Just assume the worst, because they didn't say it was going to be all semi-automatic firearms, and yet here we are, right? Now, when it comes to the SKS or the SVT, the answer is fairly straightforward. You would saw the damn thing in half and put the floor plate somewhere else. Real pain in the ass for some of these firearms. I don't know how you would try to do it on an M1 Garand. I don't know how you chop the body of this thing to get it to 5 rounds. What if you have a tube magazine? firearm. There's some semi-automatic and lever action firearms that have a tube. Chop it and cap it, I guess. Like this could be really, really horrible. Never mind like the chopping of these other mags or whatever other limits they have imagined. This could be absolutely dreadful. And then the other one that they have on the docket is changes to secure storage. I'm not sure what these are either. We have safe storage laws here in Canada. Your guns have to be unloaded all the time unless you're at the range or somewhere where you can shoot them. At home, that means they need to be either, if they're a pistol, they have to be locked up with a trigger lock on them, or they need to be in a safe, or they need to be in a safe room that's been constructed for the purposes of storing firearms. So we have some pretty restrictive laws in terms of safe storage, and yet they're talking about enhancing those a little bit more. I don't know what these could be. They could be really horrible. They could require like government inspection, or maybe they'll just like amp everything up a little bit. Oh no, everything's got to be locked up all the time and secured to the wall and with a trigger lock. Like who knows what they're going to put in on this. So all in all, the withdrawal of the amendments is really good news. I think a lot of the community is to thank for this. They've been doing these letter writing campaigns. The NDP, the Bloc, they were really against these amendments because they heard from so many people that were against it. Keep writing those letters. The NDP and the Bloc and the Greens supported C21 without the amendments. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't support those. So if you wrote a letter before, write another letter asking your MP to vote against C21 and be vocal against C21, and maybe we'll beat this one too. Thanks for watching.